day of our Lord's last week. Christ's journey turned treacherous and painful in these final few hours leading to his death. According to Scripture, Judas Iscariot, the disciple who had betrayed Jesus, was overcome with remorse and hung himself early on the Friday morning. Meanwhile, before the third hour, 9 a.m., Jesus endured the shame of false accusation, condemnation, mockery, beating, and after multiple unlawful trials, he was sentenced to death by crucifixion, one of the most horrible and disgraceful methods of capital punishment known at that time. Before Christ was led away, soldiers spat on him, they tormented him, they mocked him, but they pierced him with a crown of thorns. Then Jesus carried his own cross to Calvary, where again he was mocked and insulted as Roman soldiers nailed him to a wooden cross. Jesus spoke 7 final statements from the cross. His first words were, "Father, forgive them, for they know not what they are doing." His last words were, "Father, into your hands I commit my spirit." And then about the 9th hour, 3 p.m, Jesus breathed his last breath and died. Friday evening, Nicodemus and Joseph of Arimathea took Jesus' body down from the cross and they laid it in a tomb. In John chapter 19, starting from verse 16, it reads this: Finally Pilate handed him over to them to be crucified. So some of the soldiers took charge of Jesus. Carrying his own cross, he went to the place of a skull, which in Aramaic is called Golgotha. There they crucified him, and with him 2 others, one on each side and Jesus in the middle. Pilate had a notice prepared and fastened it to the cross: Jesus of Nazareth, the King of the Jews. Many of the Jews read this sign, for the place where Jesus was crucified was near the city, and the sign was written in Aramaic, Latin, and Greek. The chief priests of the Jews protested to Pilate, "Do not write the King of the Jews, but that this man claimed to be King of the Jews." Pilate answered, "What have I written? I have written." When the soldiers crucified Jesus, they took his clothes, dividing them into 4 shares, one for each of them, with the undergarment remaining. This garment was seamless, woolen in one piece from top to bottom. "Let's not tear it," they said to one another. "Let's decide by lots who will get it." This happened that the scriptures might be fulfilled, that they said, "They divided my clothes among them and cast lots for my garment." So this is what the soldiers did. Near the cross of Jesus stood his mother's sister Mary, the wife of Cleopas, and Mary Magdalene. And Jesus saw his mother there and the disciples whom he loved standing nearby. He said to her, "Woman, here is your son." And to the disciples, "Here is your mother." From that time on, the disciples took her into his home. Later, knowing that everything had been finished, and so that scripture would be fulfilled, Jesus said, "I am thirsty." A jar of vinegar, white wine vinegar, was there, so they soaked a sponge in it, put the sponge on a stalk of the hyssop plant, and lifted it to Jesus' lips. When he had received the drink, Jesus said, "It is finished." With that, he bowed his head and gave up his spirit. when we think about that, when we think about reflection upon what we've just read, he did this for you and he did this for me because he loves each and every one of us. And my prayer is that at this time of the year, Easter, that we will realise that the meaning of Easter is the cross, where Jesus went and he died for you and for me because he loved each and every one of us. Thank you.